and their card becomes an outward manifestation of what was inside.
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Hearts. Twisted Metal, Twisted Hearts.
Twisted
Can't
Metal
lose.
Can't lose.
Yeah.
So I love sort of posing this question every now and then just because it's fun to, just think about games that you love that you want to see come back. So are there any games for either of you that you want to see come back?
Perennial topic, love video game franchises. What do you want to have come back? You can Google video game franchises, fallen franchises, best franchises. There's millions of lists out there. At the top of all of them should be Front Mission.
Front
Mission?
Damn,
Square Enix?
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, Squaresoft.
Squaresoft.
Mech tactical game. Front Mission stopped with Front Mission Evolved, which was a spin-off. It was a third-person action game, and it was absolutely terrible. And I don't know, Square had been they had no confidence in bringing the game overseas, which is why Front Mission 5 was never localized outside Japan.
It's a good game.
Which is like that would have been a much better Front Mission. But then for some reason they thought that the Front Mission name had enough cachet where they're like, oh, well, we'll have Double Helix make a Front Mission game.
Yeah.
Double Helix, who has never really made anything that people remember. And then we'll call it Front Mission because that'll find an audience for it. And so it just dragged the name through the mud.
Any video game you bring up in a conversation where you're like, what franchise needs to come back? There's a pretty good chance they tried to bring it back, but in a way that completely misunderstood the audience and the potential audience. And it misunderstood both of those, and then the franchise died, and some guy wearing a cowboy hat looks at the spreadsheet and goes, there's no money in that.
Right, yeah, what do I put on the box? Robots? Nobody likes robots. Now is the perfect time to bring it back because one, people love XCOM. So you don't have to do the traditional JRPG tactical turn-based thing where you have a grid. I mean, XCOM has a grid, but you can do something more fluid. Plus, people loved the new
Battletech.
Battletech, same thing.
Robots, just customizing parts on robots.
Yeah.
They love it. So PC first, Front Mission 6 needs to happen.
Make it happen.
I want to say, don't bring any of them back. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Okay.
Though, I requested to be here today to talk about this because I want to mention something that bothers me. So, do you know the game Yooka-Laylee?
Yes.
Yooka-Laylee. This is a game made by the people who made Banjo-Kazooie. Now, I don't like Banjo-Kazooie, and I sure as heck don't like Yooka-Laylee. I'm sorry. When Yooka-Laylee was announced, it was on Kickstarter. The Kickstarter did very well. The Kickstarter leaned very heavily on we're the people who made Banjo-Kazooie. I did this on Banjo-Kazooie, I did this. And you look at the descriptions of what these guys did, and it's like, oh, these are the guys. There may have been other people involved. However, these are definitely the top dudes, the most powerful dudes who made this game. And I knew that the Kickstarter trailer's there, embedded in the Kickstarter page, and I knew it was gonna be on YouTube. I knew exactly what the top comment was going to be. I knew it. I just sort of deflated in my office chair in the middle of my living room. Don't ask why there's an office chair in the middle of my living room. And I just went like this. The first comment was, hopefully Microsoft sees this and brings back Banjo-Kazooie. The idea.
So you're saying Yooka-Laylee is evidence that they shouldn't have?
No.
Because if anything, it seems like Yooka-Laylee shows they should do it.
It's people who made Banjo-Kazooie, and they're making Yooka-Laylee. You don't need Banjo-Kazooie. You've got Yooka-Laylee.
You just need the spirit of...
Right? If you really want the spirit, follow the people who made it, not the brand name. Same thing with that Bloodstained
Back in the box for
game.
Kickstarter right there.
See? Follow the people. With that Bloodstained game, Koji Igarashi, who worked on Castlevania Symphony of the Night, made Aria of Sorrow, Dawn of Sorrow, I went to YouTube to see their Kickstarter trailer. While their Kickstarter was very successful, very first comment, hopefully Konami sees this and sees how successful this Kickstarter is and brings back Castlevania. And it's like, man,
How do you feel about games that are like inspired by the people who have made those games? So like a Shovel Knight.
I think like Shovel Knight's incredible. Shovel Knight is like everything that was ever good about like a Capcom NES game. It's just, I hate to just say better.
Well, it's like
but it
modernized. It's like they got the baton and they're like running with it this time.
It's modernized just enough, and it's got shades of all these little games that if we weren't so obsessed with wanting sequels to dead franchises, we would be able to look at more games. Games like Little Samson. Where's Little Samson 2? Where's Demon Sword 2? Where's Kickmaster 2? All these games that didn't have a number 2.
It's weird though, because like no matter what, people are always going to bring that comparison. So like if you come out with a Bloodstain, people are, like you said, they're obviously going to be like, oh, this looks like Castlevania. I wish they would bring back Castlevania, even though they brought back Castlevania to a degree,
Yeah.
right? So like for me personally, like I miss wacky like stupid sports games, and I miss dumb arcade racers, and I feel like those are slowly making a comeback. I've seen like a couple cell shaded really cool drift. I forget, there's like a drift game coming out that looks really, really cool. So in that vein, like I miss like Ridge Racer. Like I loved Ridge Racer growing up, and it just sort of vanished for whatever reason. And I would love to see that game at least come back to some degree, whether it's actually Ridge Racer itself, or if it's this team that made Ridge Racer, or if it's a bunch of people that loved Ridge Racer and kind of want and missed that, and they want to bring it back for like, I don't know, like the Switch or something.
I think that's the key right there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'd ever sit down on my couch and buy $60 Ridge Racer for my PS4, but if I can throw it on the Switch and kill some time at the 7-Eleven waiting for my Slurpee.
Like Shovel Knight, right? So Shovel Knight is like a resurrected franchise of your dreams, right? Like your dreams of 8-bit games have been resurrected as a franchise in this game. In that vein, I'm gonna go back and say, yeah, bring back Castlevania. Hire a bunch of new people to make a new Castlevania. Hire a bunch of people to make a new Banjo-Kazooie. I know follow the people is a thing. Respect the people. That's a choice for some fans.
But what if we followed other people?
Yeah, what if we gave other people a shot at making a game? Not everybody has the clout to put together something like Shovel Knight and put it out. Maybe they can just get jobs at Microsoft, at Rare.
Like Sonic Mania.
Banjo, Sonic Mania.
Get the fans who studied the games and like modded and made their own versions of it.
Sonic Mania principle.
Let them curate their own thing.
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal also needs to come back. The most fun thing to do in Rocket League, other than miss goals, is to just ride as fast as you can at another player when you're losing by like 4, and just know that you own them for like a hot second.
It's like dunking on them.
Right, it's like, you thought you won, but look, your car just blew up.
Right.
Yeah.
But if I could do that in a battle royale setting,
Ooh.
as a dude that has giant wheels for arms, that would be even better.
I feel like that might make a comeback based off of the way the trends are going, right? So like battle royale would be a perfect scenario for that, where you can make a huge map and you could have people in different cars and stuff. Like it would make so much sense for that to come out. By the hint, hint.
So Rocket League proved to the whole esports competitive games community that MOBAs and FPS weren't the only two types. They weren't the only types of competitive games that people will play like crazy online. And then Battle Royale games came out after that, and that was a relatively new concept. So I think game developers and publishers are now like open to the idea of there being more types of competitive games. So I would not be surprised at all to see a car combat game come out. Maybe it's not Twisted Metal. And this is another thing, like Ridge Racer. Maybe it's not Ridge Racer, but there's independent developers can now do stuff on that level.
When I was going back and trying to research franchises that need to come back, there are surprisingly few that have not come back.
Yeah.
Most of them keep producing games every year. And I was astounded when I was like, oh, this like Twisted Metal. I was like, oh, well, there's a game in 2012, so it's not really gone. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
5-6 years, that's not, I mean, it could be 5 or 6 years till we get another Mass Effect, but no one would say, oh, Mass Effect is like done.
Right.
Yeah. So there's really only one answer to this question. It's god-darned F-Zero, man. F-Zero GX, F-Zero AX for the Nintendo GameCube and the arcade, respectively.
And that's an example of one, when Nintendo brings back F-Zero, it's not even going to be a driving game.
Why'd they bring back Mario Tennis? There was a Mario Tennis a couple years ago on the Wii U. It's been forever since a F-Zero. It's been god darn forever. God darn forever since a real F-Zero. It's been 15 years, man, since a real F-Zero game. Nintendo, you own it. Let it make money for you, you know? Just port F-Zero GX to the Nintendo Switch, give it a little widescreen, 60 FPS.
Deluxe.
Deluxe as heck. F-Zero GX, DX. Call it F-Zero DX. They like,
Yeah, that's pretty
it's
good.
like a throwback to the Game Boy Color games. Yeah.
DX is a common Japanese abbreviation of the word deluxe.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
What
like
was your other game?
NBA Street. So we talked a little bit before off camera about how like they've tried incorporating like these modes into like the larger sports games, but I feel like I know that NBA
Street.
Live is coming out with the street mode, but it still seems like just a slightly watered down version of the real game, of the actual game. And what I want is like somewhere in the middle between NBA Jam and like 2K. There was that sweet spot that like NBA Street fulfilled for me, that I was like
A good game.
a good game. But you know, just like a little wacky, cool soundtrack, like really cool stages that were like, you know, fun to play in. And yeah, like, but I don't know, like, does that thing become some sort of like indie title? I know they came out with another game that was like called 3 and 3, like a free to play game that was sort of similar, but is there even a market for that anymore?
There's a market for Mario to dunk on some fools.
I think what happened was EA, they became so increasingly known as the realistic sports game company, and that to a point where their label EA Big, which was where they had SSX, Skate, NBA Street, all those games, FIFA Street, all those games were seen by some sort of, you know, guy in a cowboy hat and a big wig and a bolo tie with all ice teeth, like, looked at the spreadsheet and was like, that's brand dilution. We got to get that out of there. It's diluting our brand. Our brand would be stronger. We got to amputate, you know? So they amputated that. And now they're trying to, in a mealy-mouthed fashion, drip feed it back in to NBA Live, being like, here's a street mode where the hyper-realistic basketball popularized by NBA 2K has been diluted just a tiny bit. It's been made just a tiny bit loose.
Well, and that's what they did with Forza.
Yeah.
Forza, super popular franchise, and they were like, what if people actually wanted to play Forza who didn't just want to look inside cars all day?
That's me.
They're like, oh, Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Forza
Just make it a little arcadier, but keep it looking beautiful. And
Yeah, Forza Horizon is the modern equivalent of NFL Blitz and NBA Jam.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would behoove people like Electronic Arts to look at Rocket League and be like,
I'm sure there's
Rocket
a guy
League
at
is-
EA every day is like, why didn't we make Rocket League?
Yeah.
like, look at Rocket League. I mean, the thing is, you still can. Rocket League is a spirit. It's an idea. It's not just a video game. It's like, here's a really dumb game done perfectly well. And the perfectly well part, you can buy that. They should do that with all their old sports games. They should just give me a dumb football,
Hell yeah.
idiot basketball, you know, moron baseball.
I would play all of these games.
I want all of
100%.
those. So bring back dumb sports,
Yeah,
right? That's
definitely.
our
We did
franchise.
it. Yeah, see, Tim does want games to come back.
Yeah.
You can give them a different name though.
Oh, let us know what you think down below and tune into Viewpoints every Tuesday.